conflict occurs, that time you have to go to the business guys, then both developer, tester, and business analyst sit together and understand the functionality better. If anything is wrong, the way what we understood, then we have to update our test case, then we have to execute based on the new test case. Okay, now we'll go the terminology. Day before yesterday, somebody asked what is the difference between bug, error, and defect. Error is just a terminology we use, is an undesirable deviation from the requirement. If it is not matching the requirement, if it is not according to the requirement, then definitely we call that as a error, right? What is bug? If we find this undesirable requirement, or if it is not matching the requirement, okay, if we find that error before the application goes to production, if you find that kind of error during the testing phase, then we call that as a bug. Okay. What is defect? If you find this error after the application goes to the production. Once we already tested, we signed off, then it moves to the production. Okay. That time the UAT team or the production, the dry run team, they find anything, then we call that as a defect. Okay. The main concept is if it is not working according to the requirement, that is called error, bug, defect, all those things, different terminologies. These terminologies are very important when you write some certifications, okay, or some interviews. Some people like, I don't think so. I never ask people in the interview like what is the difference between bug, error, and defect. Okay, but definitely during writing the certification or anything like that, they will ask you these kind of questions so that people get confused. Okay, that's the one of they want to know like exactly the terminology when to use what. Okay, so if you find anything which is not matching the requirement, if you find any error during the testing phase, that time you call that as a bug. If you find any error during the production in the production environment, then you call it defect. That's a simple difference. Okay. Any deviation from the requirement is a bug which may or may not cause the failure. Okay, if you find any bug during the testing phase, it may not be the failure because we are still in the test environment. We can fix it immediately. Development team is right there. You can raise the bug and they will fix it. Okay, it is not a failure. But defect is one will cause the software failure. Why it is cause a failure? Because it's already moved to the production. Now in the production, if they find any defect, it is a huge thing. They have to spend money again to go to the developer and find it. They have to look for the design thing and they have to test it, fix it, everything. Okay, and so many people, for example, the registration, okay, the login registration. If you don't find that bug during testing phase, if it goes to production, if they are not able to register a new patient, for example, if it's a hospital, okay, there you have to enroll a new patient, you have to register a new patient. You tested in the test environment, you may miss something. For example, if you give the date of birth future year also, it is accepting. For example, if I say 2020, some July 1st, it is accepting. Then if you miss that part of negative testing and it is moved to the production, if people are misusing it, if they are able to register with a future year, then definitely that's a defect. It's going to lose for that organization if people are misusing that application. Right? So that's where we call this software failure. I mean a software can run without a failure with bugs in it, but software can run without failure with defects in it. So that's what, if you have if they have some bugs in the software, that's fine because we are gonna fix it anyway. If it is a defect, then it may cause a failure. Okay, if it is a small, in the defect also, I will explain what is priority and severity in the next step. Okay, if it is a high severity bug, high severity defect, then it is a complete failure of the project. Okay, in the defect also, we have like priority and severity during the testing phase. As a test engineer, you should be capable enough to identify which defect is the severity of the defect is high, low, or medium. You have to decide it. And priority, the priority of the defect. For example, you need this. Let me open one application, like whatever. Okay. Let me explain severity and priority so that it will be easy for me to explain them the steps. Okay, we'll go for T-Mobile.
Hi, Shweta.
Mm-hmm.
Shweta, I'm not getting the very basic point. If we are checking up with the error only, then how we are moving to the bug? Because
no, that is the term. Okay, that is a term. We are not. That is not. That is a term we use to define a bug and defect. Getting it? First, we are explaining what is error means. Okay, error means it is deviations from the requirement. If your software, you already developed the software, it is deviate from the requirement, undesirable deviate from the requirement, that is called error. Okay, if it is the business analyst asks for the T-Mobile logo should be like, 1 minute, let me open one of the examples.
Yeah, with the example, I think it will be more clear because with the terminologies, it is not getting much clear actually.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, this is the T-Mobile application. Okay, in the requirement they say that this T-Mobile logo should be on the left side of the application, left corner on the application. That is the requirement. That's a simple requirement. Okay, if the developer by mistake instead of left side, if he put on the right side, here the car search wherever the button is, if he put there, if he develop there, it will come to the testing phase, right? If it is as a test engineer, we've gone through the BRD document. We have written a test case saying that the T-Mobile should be on the left side corner of the page. Okay, left top side corner of the page. That's what our test case has written. But while executing, if it is in the right side, okay, right corner of the page, then definitely it is not matching with the requirement. That is error. But we are finding that error during the testing phase. That's why we call that as a bug. Okay, in case you have not written test case for this scenario at all. In the BRD document, they mentioned somewhere it should be in the left top side corner, but you have not written test case for that. If you miss that error, okay, during the testing phase, it moves to the production. We already signed off, we completed our testing, we'll say everything we tested, and it goes to the production. In production, if the client finds that, if he come and say, we asked for left side corner, why did you put on the right side corner? That is not we asked for. Then he will raise a defect. He will find that error. That error we call as a defect. Getting it? The terminology what we use error in the different phases, that is called bug and defect. Getting it? Who's that? I forgot.
Got it, Shweta. Thanks.
Okay, Sharmila. So, in anything, if it is not what we expected, it is not matching the requirement, okay, that is called bug. That is, if you find the same bug in the production, that is called defect. This is just the terminology they use. Okay, don't get confused. But if you join any company, you may see people, hundreds of people, they use bug, defect in all the phases everywhere. They'll say in the testing phase itself, I found a defect. That's what they say. They don't remember and say, I found a bug. Okay. In the production, they definitely in the production they say defect, but during testing phase, most of the test engineers we use the term defect itself instead of bug. In some companies we use bug. So it depends. The people, if they know the knowledge, if they remember these terminologies, then definitely they use the right terms. Otherwise, that's okay. It is not a big deal if you use bug or defect. It is the defect. That's it. It's a bug. It is not matching the requirement. That's all. Yes, it is always better to find a bug instead of defects. Yeah, yes, it's all test engineers. That's what we dream for. Like we should have zero defects in the production, but in the reality that's not going to happen. Whatever the way you test, some way or the others will miss some of the other things. Maybe because of the DRD loophole or some of the other things. So that's fine. We are doing our job. If we find someone finds any defect, that's fine. End of the day, we have to make this product perfect. That's it. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Please in the chat, don't discuss about what you work, okay? What you are doing, all those things. This is justly this chat only for this class, okay? I don't want, while taking a class, the concentration, I don't want them to deviate. They will keep on reading this chat conversation. I don't want that to happen. Okay. Okay, what is severity and priority? Okay. For example, you are a test engineer. You raise the defect for this T-Mobile. It should be in this pink and this is a gray color. Okay. But the developers, what he did is, instead of this pink, he made as a red color. Okay. And in the mobile, it is gray. So what I will do is, I'm testing it. Okay. I will say, I found this bug. Okay. I'll say, okay, this is supposed to be pink, why it is in red color. But this is not a major defect. It is not affecting any other functionality. It is just this only logo. But other login, sign up, registration, everything else is working fine. So what I will do is, while writing the defect, I will say the severity is low. It is not the very high, but the priority is medium, because we have to fix this before going to the production. Because the color is the main thing. Definitely do the marketing, the T-Mobile marketing team. If you change it to the red or green, the marketing team, they already planned for pink, then definitely it's a big deal. So what we can say is, while writing the defect, while writing a bug, test engineer should understand the criticality and understand the business functionality well. So this T-Mobile logo, it is in red color, but this is not affecting any other functionality. So the severity, you can make it as low, but the priority of fixing it as medium. It is not high, you have to fix it right today. It is not like that. You can fix it in next regression cycle, or you can fix it after 4 or 5 days. You take up all the high functionality, critical functional defects, fix that, then you take this. Why this severity and priority is very important during the testing phase? Why this is important during the bug, while writing a defect, while writing a bug? Because this shows that this helps developers to fix, to prioritize their work. Okay? If you say severity 1 and priority 1 for this defect, then definitely developers will say, oh, what happened? What happened? His application crashed. If nothing is working, then they will go. Then they will go and immediately they try to fix it. Okay? If it is a high severity, for example, if you click on www.tmobile.com, if you are getting the blank page, then definitely it's a high severity, high priority. Because without this application, we can't test anything else. Okay? So that, if you, this is like giving a red flag, showing a red flag, saying that nothing is working. This helps developers to prioritize their work. So if this application itself showing a blank page, then then developers go and say, okay, this is not working, means none of the testers have any job right now, so we have to fix it right away. Then they will fix and deploy right away, then testers can test the remaining stuff. If it is something like the severity is more, for example, the application, T-Mobile application is working, okay, the login, everything is working. Only during the shop cart, there we don't have some, what is it? Well, I'm doing some shopping, that time I'm not able to set some items. For example, in the phone, Apple iPhone 3, I'm not able to add that into a cart. It's not showing any error, but I'm not able to add also. Okay, that is the scenario. You assume that is a scenario. Okay, that time what I should say, module, this is the functionality, this is the core functionality. I'm not able to add item into a cart. Okay, this is the core functionality of this cart module. So definitely severity is there, but it is not high severity because it is not blocking other modules. So definitely it's a medium severity. The priority wise it is high because this is the high priority for me to test the remaining functionality of this cart module. Cart module is maybe assigned to Prashant. Okay, he has he has 10 to 25 test cases to test this module. In that, the basic functionality itself is not working, means how can he execute the remaining test cases? He will sit another 5 days until developers fix it. So to avoid that, what he will do is, the severity he will say a medium because it's not affecting other functionality. The priority he will make as high because they have to fix this, because otherwise he can't test the remaining functionality, remaining test cases in this module. Getting it? So this is how, as a test engineer, you should understand the business concept and you should understand how it affects others, how it affects whole functionality, how it is gonna, how it helps developers to fix this effect, how can they prioritize. Okay? All those things you have to think in your mind and you have to decide which one is medium. Mainly in some organizations, in most of the organizations, we have like a low, medium and high. Those are the three terms we use to raise a defect with a severity or priority. These are the three terms. Okay, in some organizations, they have like a severity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that is like a, for me, maybe the severity is 3, for Priyanka, maybe it's 4. So it may vary. Okay, but you have to decide based on your knowledge, based on your thinking, you can raise the defect, the severity and priority. But definitely it should not be, if I am thinking 3 and Prashant is thinking 4 and if Priyanka thinks it is 1, then definitely there is a problem. Okay, if both of us are thinking medium, if one person is thinking low, then definitely you are not understanding the functionality properly. You are not setting the priority properly. Okay. If the bug becomes a defect, then tester loses the job, right? Okay. Somebody is asking here, if the bug becomes a defect, then the tester loses the job, right? It is not like everyone will, every time, it is not like you will lose your job, okay? It is like the credibility, the people think about the testing team. That may vary. What is this? If they find some defect which is not, and we have not written test case at all, the BRD document is not specified at all, then it is not a problem from your side. Because the BA team, they didn't do their job properly. They have not covered the requirement. That time that's fine. If they have written the requirement, you have written the test case, still you miss somewhere, some negative scenario, that time they think that testing team is not efficient. But everybody knows that none of us can test the application 100%. So nobody will lose the job unless if you miss the critical functionality, if the business itself is going to fail, something like that. It's very rare chances you're going to lose job, okay? Don't think like that, Himangini. If they find defect, you're going to lose job. No, that's not going to happen. Will the test lead set the priority? No. Tester, one who is raising the defect, he has to set the severity and priority. The test lead, definitely he will take a look into it. If you have, I give an example. If Priyanka raised it is the severity 1 and Prashant raised the severity 4, then like the difference you will come to know, right? So as a test lead, each and every defect, he's going to go through it. Before sending to the developer, what he will do is, he will go through the defect. What are the defects our team members got today? So he will go through it. If he comes to know this severity is low and this severity high, definitely he will modify it immediately in the bug tracking tool. No, Priyanka, what she has mentioned that's low, that is not low, it is medium. He will change it immediately. So, but as a testing engineer, you have to set the severity and priority from your end. But test lead, he is going to review it. Most of the time, initially, if you join as a fresher, they will monitor you like 2-3 months because they know that you don't know like the priority severity, how to set, because you don't have much experience on this field. They will just monitor 2-3 months. They will explain you, no, this is severity, this is priority. If you do any mistake, then once they get confidence, then they will just. The event test lead, he will just leave it. Okay, this person knows which one is severe, which one is priority, high. So she is going to set it properly. So it is a test engineer's job. Okay, is the negligence is a risk of bug to defect? Negligence means you can't say negligence, okay? You put your 100% of testing effort. If somebody finds defects in the production, you done your job. Nobody is perfect, right? It is not negligence, you can say. You may miss it. Maybe test coverage is missed, or maybe you have not done proper RTM, okay, requirement eligibility matrix, or something. By mistake, if you missed it, then only they will get the defect. Or if you have not understand the functionality properly. Okay. First thing is you have to understand the functionality. If you don't understand the functionality, you can't write the effective test cases. If you can't write the test cases, then how can you execute? How can you think in a multiple directions and test the application? That time only you will find more production defects. Getting it? Okay. Go for that. Okay. Tester misses to bring to notice, a developer misses to fix it, our tester misses to retest after fix. See, these are all the process. I'm going to explain now before. Okay. What is bug is they want me to explain. Okay. Instead of I'm explaining, you guys got what is the difference between bug and defect? Anybody have any doubt other than I saw Ganga, she's asking question. Okay. Sarjanya, please explain me what is bug and defect. Sarjanya, are you there? Please unmute your phone.
Yes, Shweta.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me what is bug and defect. What is bug?
Bug is like it is an error which is found before the application is sent into the production.
Yeah.
And error is something which is found during the coding, development.
Error is just a deviation from requirement, whether they found in development or testing phase, whether it is in production, wherever it is. That is, error means it is just deviation from the requirement. That is called error. Okay. Bug is if you find that error during testing phase, whether it is unit testing or integration testing or during UAT testing, wherever you find that kind of error, that is called bug. If you find similar kind of error after it's moving to the production, once we say this application is signed off, it is going to production, from now onward client is going to use, that time if client find any these kind of errors, then it is called as defect. Okay? Okay guys. Okay, this is just the same thing. A software bug is a common term used to describe an error, flaw, mistake, failure or fault in a computer program or a system that produces an incorrect or unexpected result or cause it to behave in unintended ways. As I said, the bug means everybody knows in the software, if it is not following the requirement, if there is any mistake or any fault in the whatever the code developer has written in the computer program or in the system, that is called bug. That's it. It's simple. Okay, we'll go for so client finds defect. Yes, Himangini, if the client finds any error, then it's called as a defect. Okay, what is bug life cycle? Okay, in software development process, the bug has a life cycle. The bug should go through a life cycle to be closed. A specific life cycle ensures that the process is standardized. The bug attains different states in the life cycle. What is bug life cycle? You must have heard in any software development, they will say we have a bug life cycle that has to follow. Why it is important? If you don't follow this cycle, then we may miss many defects. We may not track it. Okay. Okay, somebody is asking a question. One second. Even in the testing phase, if you find any bug, we call it as a defect. No, we call that as a bug. This is a standard terminology. I was giving an example, Ganga, in the company. If the people, they don't remember these terminologies, what is bug, what is defect, while talking, they use, okay, while just in the conversation, they may use defect in the testing phase itself. Okay? Okay. Why this bug life cycle is important? Because so many, in a project, if you have 10 test engineers, okay, all are testing the same application but different modules. Out of 10 test engineers per day, they may raise 5 defects. You say minimum 5 defects. Okay, like that, the testing goes on for a week. Okay, you may come up with 30 to 40 defects. So if you don't follow the life cycle, what happens is I will raise a defect and I will say developers have raised it. Okay. We never track. They may fix it or they may not fix it. Like this, if the cycle goes like a 3 or 4 weeks of testing, we may come up with 100 to 150 defects. Then we may miss some of the bugs. That's the reason we need a standard process. That process called bug life cycle. The process what we follow in the bug life cycle, that gives the effective output. That shows that how many defects we raised, how many defects we fixed, how many defects are still open. All those things we can make out through this life cycle. This is very, very important because when you join as a test engineer, this is how, if you raise any bug, this is how it's gonna work. We'll go step by step. New. What is new? New is once you raise a defect, for example, we'll say this login. Okay? Here the phone number I have to enter 10 digits. That's the test case we have written. That's the SRV we saw, SRD we read. Okay? And I'll say, okay. Come on. Why it is so slow? Okay, give me a second. Bear with me. I don't know why it is so slow. Okay. See, I entered enter the T-Mobile phone number. It is more than 10 users. Okay. Okay. I entered like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let me do one more. ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay. It is given an error saying that the phone number should be 10 digits. For example, the example they have given. Okay. So this is a bug. This is a bug. As a test engineer, we found that according to our test case, it should take 11, but it should be 10 digits. But it is I entered 11, so it is showing in some error message. Okay, that is as expected. The test case is passed. For example, instead of this, your phone number should be 10 digits. Instead of that, it display like, instead of 10, it displays 20. Assume. Okay? If it is, as you assume, instead of 10, if it is displayed 20, then definitely it's a bug. So what you will do, you will write a bug note. You will raise this bug in any bug tracking tool, like a Bugzilla or Quality Center, wherever. Okay? Okay, 1 minute, guys. Somebody has some. What is performance low means? See, what do you mean? Rati, are you there? Okay. So as a test engineer, so what happens is you have seen a bug now. It is saying instead of 10, it is displaying 20. Okay, you have to raise a bug now. So in the quality center, while taking a quality center class, I will show how to raise a bug. But as of now, in some companies, like they have some other tool like a chart. In HP they have internal bug tracking tool called chart. Okay, sometimes they use Bugzilla. So many different tools. But whatever the tool it is, the things, the headings, the topics, what are the things you have to specify, that is same. The first is the main description of that bug. So you have to clearly mention error message is not displaying right digit. Okay. But can we see the tool? Yeah, sure. Once I teach QC class, that time I want you guys to install the tool. Then I will show that. Okay. Not now. So this is just a format. Anyway, when I'm taking QC class, I'm going to show how to raise the defect, how to write a test case, all those things. So this is the heading. Then they have a drop-down box to set severity. I will say severity is high and the priority high. Okay. Then steps to be reproduced. Steps to reproduce. What are the steps?
Shweta?
Yeah.
Shweta? I have a question. Why the priority is high? Because it is not affecting any functionality. So why is it high? Like?
Because this is the main functionality, because if you don't log in, we can't test any other functionality, right?